so excited to see such a great crowd here on our first sunny day in a long time. Anyway, so thanks so much. My name is Helen Brock. I'm the director of our production here. We're, Ms. Decker and I, we run a Nute High School drama program. And the spring program, I'm usually in charge of the direction. He's my tech director. And we have Tyler go up to the board. We're kind of in a unique situation. Well, first of all, Nute High School's in Milton, New Hampshire, where the exit just past the Rochester exits, if you're wondering, because I didn't know before I started working there. I'm also the school librarian there. And so last night when we had our production, we actually did it in the library. We thought it's a small cast and small shows, let's make it portable, and so that gave me the idea to see about taking it on the road and giving the students a chance to perform at some different spaces like here, Dover Senior Center. Yep, come on in. Just doing announcements here, ground program. So, friendly reminder, if you have your phone on and you want to silence that, that would be terrific.
Want to take pictures or no?
Yeah, sure, but not like a continuous thing. Obviously, make sure your flash is off.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're holding your camera up and the light's going to disturb other people. But certainly, if you want to take some shots. As you can see in the program, it's 4 short one-acts. They run anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. And we have the 3 actors who are rotating and doing all the parts. So in between each one act, we change the scene, so there's a brief interlude. Come on in, and so you can certainly chat during that time. The program does say an intermission. We can do that if people suddenly say, you know what, hey, wouldn't mind that little intermission, give ourselves a few extra minutes, or we'll just give ourselves that 4 or 5 minute interlude and keep going. So it kind of depends on your we'll take an audience vote. No. So just so you know, we're trying to run it just over an hour if we just do those short interludes. Trying to think if there's anything else. Well, as Doug Decker was saying, Nute High School, we are a middle and a high school, and it's actually Nute High School and Library. We are a school and a public library, so I'm the school librarian. The public does use the library during the day. It's one of those combination libraries. It's unusual. As part of the trustees trust that was set up when Lewis Nute funded the school, and he wanted to make sure that it was also funded the public library as a public library as well. So it's always been that way for over 100 years. So. All right, so I think it's on with the show. Thanks so much.
Plenty of room on the bench.
Well, thanks. Thanks very much, but I don't mind standing. I'll only take a minute or two.
You're not expecting to meet a woman then?
Why, yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
You're an optimist.
Pardon me?
I merely remarked that you were an optimist.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
No, but you will. When your 1 or 2 minutes have turned into 1 or 2 hours. I see you don't know very much about the feminine sex.
Perhaps not, but it strikes me that your remarks are rather personal.
Well, the only remarks worth making are personal. However, if you prefer to talk about the weather.
Well, it seems I forgot my watch. Do you know what time it is?
Last I knew it was about 5 minutes past, I'd say.
Oh, 5 minutes past. Oh, yes, quite right, the weather. I'm sorry, I was thinking of something else.
So I perceive. She's already 5 minutes late.
How did you know that?
Experience. Romance is like history. It repeats itself. Besides, I'm in the same boat with you. My appointment was for 5 minutes ago also. The only difference is that I'm not worrying about it, and you are.
I think I'll sit down. if you don't mind. It's a devil of a boar standing on one foot than the other.
Pretty flowers, carnations, aren't they? Wonder what fragrance they have too. I'm very fond of them. I see your taste runs in the same direction.
Yes, a very fine flower, but well, I hope you won't think me silly, but as a matter of fact, if you can hide your carnation for a while until, well, just to be a good sport, if you can hide it for a few minutes, I'd be rather grateful.
Now, I'd like nothing better to do you a favor, Mr.
Oh, Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. That's strange. Very strange.
What a strange name, Smith.
Yes, strange that you should have it when it is my name too.
Oh, well, your name is Smith too? Well, after all, there's lots of us in the world, lots of us Smiths, so I mean there's no such coincidence.
Of course not. Only, I was thinking about the red carnations.
Well, I don't see a
I
coincidence
may be
in that.
mistaken, of course, but two Smiths meeting in the same place at the same time, both wearing red carnations, you must admit, it is...
But by Jove, it is! I wish you had moved to another spot, or take the flower out of your lapel, or... Well, it isn't absolutely necessary for you to wear it, is it?
But it is, absolutely. And you are going to cause me all sorts of trouble if you don't move, or change your name, or at least throw away your carnation.
I should do nothing of the kind, I can't. My lord man, she doesn't know me, that is, she doesn't know what I look like, and that's why she asked me to wear the red carnation.
That is exactly my predicament. My woman I am to meet does not know me by sight. That is why she asked me to wear a red carnation. So you see, I can't help you out. After all, a man must look to his own affairs first.
Oh, what beastly coincidence. Oh well, it may not matter, for one of them will arrive before the other does. And if you recognize your friend, you can speak of it once again out of the way. If mine shall arrive first, I shall do the same.
You know your friend when you see her, do you?
Why, well, in a way, though it is by her eyes. We know her eyes anywhere.
Her eyes? Good heavens.
Well, you must understand when a woman is in costume and wears a mask.
In
and
costume? And masked?
Certainly, why not? I met her at the masked ball. There's nothing unusual about that, is there?
This is uncanny, positively uncanny. Tell me one thing. What kind of costume did she wear?
She was dressed as the Queen of Sheba.
My gosh!
What's the matter?
Nothing. I won't believe it. It's impossible.
But what's impossible?
Nothing's impossible. Is she?
I think so. But confound it, I couldn't see her eyes.
I'm certain she is my friend.
But what you are?
From the way she holds her head.
Well, I'm quite certain I recognize her as my friend. If I can only get a glimpse of her eyes.
The only way to settle the matter, as I see it, is to call her by name. I suggest you try first.
No, I can't. I don't know her name.
You don't know the name of the woman you were to meet here?
She wouldn't tell me what her name was. You have to go ahead and see she belongs to you.
I must confess, this grows more and more unbelievable. The truth of the matter is, I don't know the name of the woman I was to meet.
Oh, good heavens, this is awful. Look here, we can't stand around here all day debating the question. One of us must go ahead and break the ice. If he makes a mistake, he can retire and give the right one a chance.
A very good solution. You, having suggested it, should have the privilege of trying it out. I will wait here, though, where I can keep an eye on you. Good luck to you.
What the deuce am I to say to her?
Ask her if you're the man she expected to meet here.
What if she doesn't know?
What?
What if she doesn't know whether if I'm the one or not?
That is her worry, not yours. You can at least give her a chance to claim you.
Oh, what if she makes a mistake?
Oh, Lord, are you going or aren't you?
I'm going. You won't leave until I found out, will you?
No, of course not. Go on.
I'm going. How do you do?
How do you do?
I beg your pardon, but you were, that is, I am, what I mean to say is that I was expecting to meet someone here, and I was wondering.
Yes, I noticed you were wondering.
I suppose you think I'm an idiot, with both of us wearing red carnations and being at the same spot at the same time,
Yes,
and...
I noticed you were both wearing red carnations. I think they are quite becoming.
Thanks very much. Well, this wasn't exactly the point.
No, I suppose it isn't.
It's awfully difficult to explain.
Yes, isn't it?
Well, that is, if you are the one who was to meet here, maybe you understand, do you?
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, then I suppose you aren't the one.
The one what?
The one it was to meet here, are you?
Why, I'm sure I don't know.
Oh, then you were to meet someone.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that helps some when you know him if you were to see him.
I'm afraid not. You see, that's why I asked him to wear a red carnation.
Ah, that much is settled. But of course he's wearing a red carnation too.
Yes, that does make things rather complicated, doesn't it?
Rather, so you see, we'll have to think of some way to identify him.
Identify which, you or him?
Me. No, not necessarily. Either one. The one that you were intending to meet.
Ah, that's it. We must identify the one I was intending to meet.
Can't you think of some way?
I don't know. Oh, of course. Why didn't I think of this before? I can ask you your
Oh,
name.
splendid. Go ahead and ask me.
Well, is your name Smith?
Yes.
So is mine.
Yes. Yes. You see, this is another trouble.
What? Is his name Smith too? Good heavens.
This is the point. If his name wasn't Smith, there wouldn't be any difficulty at all.
But how do you know you aren't the one to blame?
Exactly. If your name wasn't Smith, there would be no trouble whatever. I insist you share the blame at least.
It's all a question of who is the original Smith.
What do you mean by the original Smith?
Well, from the standpoint of time, I certainly am the original Smith. I carried the name long before you were born.
Ridiculous. What does that have to do with it? The original Smith in this instance has the appointment with Miss... I beg your pardon, but you never told me your name.
No, I suppose I didn't. Seems a bit odd, but as a matter of fact, I'm not sure I told you anything. Perhaps it was him that I talked with.
Where? When?
At the masked ball Friday night.
Exactly. I am the man you spoke.
But you? You were there too? This is unbearable!
Why shouldn't he have been there? He had as much right to be there as you had.
Exactly. Why should one Smith have preference over another?
I'll go mad in a minute. Look here, you've got to settle this. I refuse to stand here all day being made a fool of.
If you feel that way, you should leave at once. That would clear things up considerably.
I shan't leave. Don't think you can get rid of me as easily as that. There's some way for you to solve this problem. If you really did talk to one of us last Friday night at the masked ball, there must be something that would tell you which one of us it was. We're nothing alike. Look at him. How can you mistake him for me?
But you forget that you were both in costume and wore masks.
Quite true. Costumes and masks make a very complete disguise.
Not all costumes were alike. I was dressed as a sheik.
So was I.
What? No, you weren't. This is too much. I won't believe it.
When I tell you I was. There is nothing unusual about going to a fancy dress ball dressed as a sheik. So far as I know, no one has a patent on the idea.
Now that you mention it, I distinctly remember noticing more than one sheik at that ball.
And I suppose you talked to every sheik that you saw.
Well, naturally, I couldn't be sure. It'd be very easy to mistake one sheik for another.
And I bet you told them all the same thing, didn't you?
What do you mean?
You invited every sheik that you talked to meet you here at the park at 4 o'clock and to wear a red carnation in his coat lapel.
I did no such thing. The idea. He was the one who asked me to meet him.
Exactly. I asked her to meet me here today.
But so did I.
You are both sure you asked me?
Certain.
But how can you be? How do you know that one of you didn't ask some other girl?
Weren't you dressed as the Queen of Sheba?
Yes, that's right.
Exactly. That's how she caught my eye.
Ah, damnation, I can't stand this. How do you know there wasn't another Queen of Sheba at the ball?
Perhaps there was, but the point is, there was only one Queen of Sheba here.
And you think you asked this Queen of Sheba to meet you here at the park at 4 o'clock today?
Your mind grows clearer every minute.
And you think she told you to wear a red carnation in your coat lapel?
That is my customary method of identifying myself.
Well, I know this Queen of Sheba that I talked with. I can tell by her eyes. I would know those eyes anywhere. It means she made fools of both of us, for I made the same proposals to her as you did, and she certainly accepted them.
I am sorry. I thought you two were the same man.
She thought we were the same man.
Compliments was mutual, at any rate.
Do you think that we stuttered? That we should ask you the same thing twice?
I thought you were a little absent-minded, perhaps.
Very tactful of you to put it so mildly.
You must realize how sorry I am, but in the excitement of the dancing and the music and everything, I must have... Well, I am sorry.
Oh, well, we realize that.
Certainly.
And you can see how easy it was to make a mistake when both of you are named Smith and were dressed as sheiks and are partial to red carnations.
Of course.
I suppose the question now is, what to do about it?
It is a rather embarrassing situation.
There's only one way to settle it. She'll have to choose between us.
Oh. We might flip coins to see which of us stays.
But no, I refuse to treat the matter in such a trivial way. If I leave at the request of the lady.
Well, that relieves us of the responsibility. What does the lady say?
Oh dear, I suppose I'm caught now. Oh, what shall I do? Both of you are so attractive and so very honorable about it. I've never met two more charming men. If I were to ask you to go, would you leave?
Yes, I would stick to my word, but I would find you again some other time.
But how could you? You wouldn't know where to find me. You don't know my name or where I live or anything about me. And the next time I go to a masked ball, I might not dress as the Queen of Sheba.
But never mind, I'll find you. And when I do, I make sure there isn't any other Smith around to interfere.
What an unkind remark.
Oh, but there would be another Smith around. There always is when I am present. You see, Smith is my name too.
What? Well, it can't be!
Oh, but it is. That's why I remembered your name so easily. And yours. One can nearly always remember one's own name, even when it's attached to a stranger.
I quit! I'm through! I've been wasting my time with a pair of lunatics! Goodbye, Mr. Smith and Miss Smith.
Oh, please don't go, please. You mustn't desert us.
Goodbye.
Oh, Father, stop him!
What was that?
Father, don't just stand there like a stick!
Really, my dear, I think I've done my part. If you'll excuse me, I think I'll...
What does this mean? Who are you? Who is this man?
I am Miss Smith, and he is Mr. Smith.
He is your father?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Are you awfully mad? Will you forgive me? Please? I am sorry, but if you were my father, you wouldn't want me to meet a strange man in the park without a chaperone, would you? Even the Queen of Sheba must use discretion. And wasn't Father a sport to act his part so nicely? Just think, I planned the whole thing so it would be most exciting. And it was exciting, wasn't it?
You little devil, I can strangle you.
Does she?
Oh, Father, he kissed me!
Serves you right. Bring him home to dinner tonight, and maybe he'll kiss you again. Mr. Smith, will you accept an invitation to dinner at the Smith residence with Miss Smith and myself?
Delighted, Mr. Smith. Miss Smith, will you take my arm? But see here, aren't you taking rather of a chance? You don't know a thing about me.
My boy, I know enough about you to write your biography.
But how could you?
I've known your father, J. Rodney Smith, for 20 years, and I've seen you on the golf course with him many a time. And even if I hadn't, I'd have known you. You're a dead ringer for your dad.
How perfect it all is.
Well, I'll be.
Yes, we'll all be late for dinner, and I want to get home in time to mix the cocktails. Mr. Smith, I hope you drink.
Oh, yes, indeed. I'll chance to. What's this I see? My dear fellow Ivan Vasilievich! Oh, it is so good to see you. This is a surprise. How are you?
Thank you, and how are you?
So, my friend. Please, sit down. But tell me, why all this ceremony? Are you on your way to some engagement, my good fellow?
No, I have no engagement except with you, Stepan Stepanovich.
But why in evening clothes, my friend? This isn't New Year's.
I have come to you, Stepan Stepanovich, to trouble you with a request. This is not the first time I've had the honor of turning to you for assistance, and you have always... That is, I beg your pardon, I'm terribly nervous. I think I'll take a drink of water first.
If he's come to borrow money, I won't give him any. What is it then, dear Mama?
You see, dear Stepanovich, pardon me, Stepan Dearich, I'm terribly nervous, as you'll be so good as to see. What I mean to say, you are the one who can help me, though I don't deserve it, and I have no right whatever to make this request of you.
Don't be around the bush, my dear fellow. Tell me.
Immediately. In a moment. Here it is then. I've come to ask for the hand of your daughter, Natalia Stepanovna.
Ivan Vasilievich, Say that again, I didn't quite hear you.
I have the honor.
My dear, dear man. I've always wanted this to happen. It has been my dearest wish. And I've always loved you, my good fellow, as my own son. Why am I standing here like a blockhead? I'll call Natalia.
Dear Stepan Stepanovich, what do you think? May I hope for Natalia Stepanovna's acceptance?
Really? A fine boy like you? And you think she won't accept in under a minute? Love sick as a cat and all.
I'm cold. My body's trembling as though I were to take an examination. But the chief thing is to settle matters. If a person meditates too much or hesitates, waits for an ideal or true love, he never gets it. Oh, it is cold. Natalia is an excellent housekeeper, not at all bad looking, and well educated. What more could I ask? I'm so excited, my ears are roaring. And to not marry, that won't do. In the first place, I'm 35, a critical age, you might say. In the second place, I must live a well-regulated life. I have a weak heart, continual palpitation, and I'm very sensitive and always getting excited. My lips begin to tremble and the pulse of my right temple throbs terribly. But the worst of all is sleep. I hardly lie down and begin to doze before something on my left side begins to pull and tug, and something begins to hammer on my left shoulder, and in my head too. I jump up like a madman, walk about a little, lie down again. But the moment I fall asleep, I have a terrible cramp in the side, and so it is all night long.
Ah, it's you! Good afternoon, Ivan Vasilievich.
Good day, my dear Natalia Stepanovna.
You must pardon me for wearing this apron and my old dress. We were working today, you see. Why haven't you come to see us more often? Oh, you have not been here in so long. Sit down, sit down. Won't you have something to eat?
Thanks, I've just had lunch.
Today, it is beautiful, and only yesterday, it rained so hard that the workmen could get a stroke of work. I was so anxious that I had the whole field mowed, and now I'm sorry I did it, because I'm afraid the hay will rot. It would have been better if I had waited. But what on earth is this? You're in evening clothes, the latest cut. Are you on your way to a ball?
You see, my dear Natalia Stepanovna, simply this. I've decided to ask you to listen to me. Though it would be a surprise and indeed you'll be angry, but oh, how fearfully cold it is.
What is it? Well?
I'll try to be brief, my dear Natalia Stepanovna. As you know, for many years I've had the honor to know your family. My poor aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited the estate, always had the greatest respect for your father and your poor mother. The Lomovs and Chubakovs have been for decades on the friendliest terms with each other, and furthermore, my property, as you know, adjoins your own. If you'll be so good as to remember, my oxen meadows touch your birch woods.
Pardon the interruption, but you said my oxen meadows. But are they yours?
Yes, they belong to me.
Nonsense. They belong to us, not
No,
to
to
you.
me.
Well,
My dear
that's
Natalia
certainly news to me.
Stepanovna.
How do they belong
How?
to
I'm
you?
speaking of the oxen meadows between
Yes,
your birch woods and my
exactly. They belong
bricker.
to us.
No, you're mistaken, my dear Natalia Stepanovna. They belong to me.
Try to remember exactly, Ivan Vasilievich. Was it so long ago that you inherited them?
Long ago, as far back as I can remember, the meadows have always
But
belonged to
that
us.
isn't the truth. You'll pardon my saying so.
It is all a matter of record. It is true at one time the title to the meadows was disputed, but now everyone knows they belong to me. There is no room for discussion. Be so good as to listen. My aunt's grandmother put these meadows free from all costs into the hands of your father's grandfather's peasants for a certain time while they were making bricks for my grandmother. These people lived on the land free of cost for about 40 years.
But that isn't true. My grandfather and my great-grandfather, too, knew that their estate reached back to the swamp, so the oxen meadows belong to us. What further discussion can there be?
I'll show you the papers, Natalia Stepanovna.
No, either you are joking or trying to lead me into a discussion. That's not at all nice. We have owned this property for nearly 300 years, and now, although once we hear it doesn't belong to us, Ivan Vasilievich, you will pardon me, but I can't believe my ears. As far as I'm concerned, the meadows are worth very little. But the injustice of the thing is what affects me. Say what you will, but I can't bear the injustice.
Only listen until I have finished, please. The respected peasants of your father's grandfather, as I've already had the honor to tell you, baked bricks from my grandmother. My aunt's grandmother.
Grandfather, grandmother, aunt. I know nothing about them. All I know is that the meadows belong to us, and that ends the matter.
No, they belong to me.
And if you keep on explaining it for 2 days and put on 5 suits of evening clothes, the meadows are still ours, ours, ours. I don't want to take your property, but I refuse to give up what belongs to us.
Natalia Talia Stepanovna, I don't need the meadows. I'm only concerned with the principle. I beg of you, if you are agreeable, accept them as a gift from me.
But I can give them to you because they belong to me. It's very peculiar, Ivan Vasilievich. Up until now, we've considered you as a good neighbor and a good friend. Only last year we lent you our threshing machine so that we couldn't thresh until November. And now you treat us like thieves? You offer to give me my own land? Excuse me, but neighbors don't treat each other that way.
According to you, I'm a usurper then, am I? My dear lady, I have never appropriated other people's property, and I shall permit no one to accuse me of such a thing. The meadows are mine!
That's not the truth, they are mine.
Mine!
Huh? I'll prove it to you. This afternoon, I'll send my reapers into the meadow.
What?
My reapers will be there today.
And I'll chase them off.
If you dare.
The meadows are mine, do you understand? Mine!
Really? You needn't scream so. If you wanted to scream and snort and rage, you might do so at home. But here, please keep yourself within the limits of common decency.
My dear lady, if it weren't that I were suffering palpitation of the heart, hammering of the arteries, I would deal with you very differently. The meadows belong to me!
Us!
Me!
What is going on in here? What is he yelling about?
Papa, please tell this gentleman to whom the meadows belong, to us or to him.
My dear fellow, the meadows are ours.
And how do you make that out? You at least might be reasonable. My aunt's grandmother put these meadows free from all costs into the hands of your good father's peasants for a certain time while they were making bricks for my grandmother. These people lived on their land for about 40 years, but later...
Permit me, if you will, my good fellow, but you forgot that the peasants never paid. And there was a lawsuit over the meadows. And everyone knows that the meadows belong to us. You haven't looked at the map?
I'll prove to you that they belong to me!
Don't try to prove anything, my good fellow.
I will!
Good fellow, what are you shrieking about? You can't prove anything by yelling, you know. If it has gone so far, my dear man, that you really intend to clean the meadows, I'd rather give them to the peasants than to you, and I certainly shall.
I can't believe it! By what right can you give away property that doesn't belong to you?
Really? You must allow me to decide whether I am to do with my own land. I'm not accustomed, young man, to people to address me in that tone of voice. I beg you to address me respectfully.
No, no. You think I'm a fool. You're making fun of me. You call my property yours, and you expect me to stand quietly by and treat you like a human being? That isn't the way a good neighbor behaves. You're no better than a land grabber.
What? What did he just say?
Papa, send the reapers into the meadows this minute!
What was that you said, sir?
The meadows belong to us, and I will give them up! I will give them up! I will give them up!
We'll see about that, and I'll prove in court that they belong to me.
In court? Oh, you may sue in court if you like. Your whole family were always looking for quarrels, the whole lot of them.
Kindly refrain from insulting my family. The Lomovs have always been honorable, and never has one been on trial for embezzlement, as your dear uncle was.
And your whole Loma family were insane.
Every one of
Your
them.
grandmother was a dipsomaniac.
And your mother limped. Oh, my side pains, my temples are bursting with water.
And your dear father was a gambler and a glutton.
And your aunt was a gossip.
And you're an intriguer. Oh, my heart. And it's an open secret that you cheated at the elections.
Oh, how low, liar, disgusting thing!
Where's the door?
Me never drop my door again.
Bring your suit to court, we'll see!
The devil.
Such a good for nothing. And then they talk about being good neighbors.
Loafer, scarecrow, monster.
A swindler like that takes over a piece of property that doesn't belong to him and then dares to argue about it?
And to think that this fool plans to make a proposal of marriage.
What? A proposal of marriage?
Yes, he came here to make you a proposal of marriage.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
That's why I have the evening clothes on, the poor fool.
Oh, proposal for me? Oh, bring it back! Bring
What
it
is wrong with you? Bring who back? Who?
Bring it back!
Hey, don't fall.
What have they done to me? Bring it back!
He's coming out once, a double take up. Talk to him yourself, I can't. He's coming out once, I tell you. What a task it is to be a father of a grown daughter. I'll cut my throat. I really will cut my throat. We have insulted the fellow and fought with him and now we've thrown him out. And you did it all. You.
No, you will!
Oh, yes, I'm to blame. I'll shoot myself or hang myself, and remember, you'll be to blame. There, talk to him yourself. I can't.
Terrible palpitation. My leg is lame. My side hurts me.
You must pardon us. We We were angry. I remember now. The meadows really do belong to you.
My heart is beating terribly. Meadows, my eyelids tremble. We were wrong. It was only the principle of the thing.
Yes, exactly, the principal. Let us talk about something else.
Because I have evidence that my
Enough! I don't know how to begin. Are you going hunting soon?
Yes, heathcock shooting. I expect to begin after the harvest. Oh, did you hear? My dog, Ugadai, you know him, limps.
Oh, what a shame. How did that happen?
I don't know. Perhaps it's dislocation, or maybe he was bit by some other dog. Best dog I ever had, to say nothing of his price. I paid Mironov a mere 125 rubles for him.
Oof, that was too much to pay, Ivan.
In my opinion, it was very cheap. What a wonderful dog.
Papa paid 85 rubles for his Akatai, and the Akatai is much better than your Ugadai.
Really? Akatai better than Ugadai. What an idea. Akatai better than Ugadai.
Of course he's better. It's true, he's still young and isn't full grown yet, but in the pack or on a leash, there's no better than
I
he.
really beg your pardon, Natalia Stepanovna, but you quite overlooked the fact that Akatai has a short lower jaw, and a dog with a short lower jaw.
Short lower jaw? That's the first time I've ever heard
I
that.
assure you, his lower jaw is shorter than the upper.
Have you measured it?
I have measured it. He's good at running, though.
In the first place, our Akatai is a purebred, and as for your mongrel, no one can ever figure out what he is. He's old and ugly and as skinny as an old hat.
Old, certainly. I wouldn't take 5 of your Akatais for my Ugadai. Ugadai is a dog, and Akatai is... It is laughable to argue about it.
Ivan Vasilievich, you're being very contrary today. First, our oxen meadows belong to you, and now Ugadai is better than Akatai? You know very well the Akatai is 100 times better than your silly Ugadai!
I can see now, Natalia Stepanovna, that you either consider me a blind man or a fool, but you may as well admit that Akatai has a short lower
It
jaw.
isn't so!
Yes, a short
It's
lower
not
jaw.
so!
What makes you scream, my dear lady?
What makes you touch such nonsense? It's disgusting! It's high time Ugadai was shot, and yet you compare him to Akatai?
Pardon me, I can't carry on this conversation any longer. I have palpitation of the heart.
I've always noticed that the hunters who do the most talking know the least about hunting!
My dear lady, be still. My heart is bursting. Be still.
I won't be still until you admit the Akatai is better!
Oh, he has begun again!
Papa, say frankly on your honor, which dog is better, Akatai or Ugadai?
Stepan Stepanovich, tell me this. Has Akatai a short lower jaw or not? Yes or no?
What if he has? What importance has it? There's no better dog in the whole country.
My Ugadai is better. Tell the truth now.
Don't get so excited, my dear fellow. Permit me. Your dog certainly has its good points. He's from a good breed, has a good stride and strong punches, but the dog has 2 flaws. He's old, and he has a short lower jaw.
Pardon me. I have palpitation. Pardon. Let us stick to the facts. Remember, in Maruskin's meadows, my dog kept ear to ear with the Count's dog, and your dog...
Our dog fell behind because the Count struck him with his whip.
Quite true. While all the other dogs were on the fox's scent, Akatai found it necessary to bite a sheep.
That isn't so. I beg you, stop this argument. It's no longer you find a dog better than Ugadai and begin to this, that, his, mine, and so forth.
Palpitation! You ought to sit by the stove and wrestle with the potato peelings and not go fox hunting. Palpitation!
A man with your disease ought to stay at home and not jolt around in the saddle if you were a hunter.
You only ride around to flatter the Count. Oh, you intriguer, swindler,
Whatever, be still.
intriguer,
Walking drugstore.
old rat.
Be still or shoot you like a partridge, fool, loafer.
Everyone knows that. My heart. Your poor late wife beat you.
And your housekeeper wears your trousers in the house.
My shoulder's short.
Baby half-baked clam, fool.
The doctor.
Nice sort of hunter you are. You can't even sit on a horse. Oh, Ivan Vasilievich! He's dead! Oh, he's dead! Ivan is dead!
I can't breathe there.
But what is wrong with you now?
Doctor, Ivan is dead!
Who's dead? Who?
Ivan Vasilievich!
Oh, yes, he is dead. Drink water. Oh, he won't drink. Oh, he is dead. What a terrible situation. Why did I shoot myself? Why didn't I hang myself? What am I waiting for now? No, wait. Oh, he seems to be coming to. Quickly, drink some water.
Sparks. Miss.
Get
Where
married,
am I?
quick, and the devil take you both. She is willing. She has agreed. Only leave me in peace.
What?
But she is willing. Well, kiss each other, and the devil take you both.
What? He lives? Yes, I'm
Well,
willing.
kiss each other.
Very nice. Pardon me, what is this for? Oh, yes, I understand now. Sparks, I'm happy to tell, yes.
Oh, I'm happy to.
Oh, load off my shoulders. Ah.
Now, at least you'll admit that Ukadai is worse than Alkatai.
Better,
Worse.
better,
Worse.
better,
The domestic choice
Better.
there, gun.
Worse.
better,
Worse.
better,
Worse, worse, worse.
better,
Worse.
better,
Worse.
Come on in. It's okay. It's okay. Hold. No worries. Go in, everybody. We're sorry. Okay, go.
Prunella, it's so good to see you.
You too, Martin.
Prunella, how I've missed saying your name. Prunella, like prunes with vanilla.
Martin, I can't think of anything equivalent to say.
How long has it been?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, hasn't it? Prunella.
10 years. Ever since our divorce.
Dreadful day. We had a particularly contentious divorce too, didn't we? Swearing, crying, hurling accusations. I said so many awful things. You said so many awful things. And then you get all our possessions and the house and the kids and the car.
I know. We really hated one another back then. In fact, we've continued hating one another until just yesterday. That chance meeting on the street.
It's true, Prunella. When I saw you yesterday, the sunlight shimmering on your wig, suddenly all the hate and anger was put into perspective, and I thought, I love this woman. I have always loved this woman. I mean, who cares who got what in the settlement? They're only things.
Yes. My things.
Right? But the point is, Prunella, after 10 years of hating you, suddenly all that hate has melted away, and in its place, well, it's corny to say it, but in its place is love.
Oh, Martin, I feel the same way. The kids are grown, the car is broke, the house needs repair, but our love for one another is real.
Prunella, I know this is crazy, and the last thing you hear was thought would happen, but I think we should get back together. I want us to remarry.
Hello, my name is Mitch, and I'll be your waiter for the evening. Let me tell you about our specials, then take a cocktail order.
Could you come back in a minute?
What?
I'm sorry, would you come back in a minute? I was in the middle of a thought. Now, where was I?
Oh, Martin, it's amazing you feel this way because I feel absolutely the same.
Do you?
Yes, I haven't
We
felt
got
anything.
duck, chicken.
Not ready now.
My name is Mitch, and I'm your waiter.
My name is Martin, and I'm not ready yet.
Will you let me know when you're ready, okay?
Yes, Mitch.
I'll be waiting.
What were you saying?
I forget.
Oh, I hate it when this happens. Well, let me tell you more about my feelings. Stop me if you've heard it all before, but I feel so thoroughly renewed, young, in love. I think I'm developing a canker sore.
What?
Yes, right on my inner cheek. Ow, it hurts when I put my tongue on it.
Don't put your tongue on it then.
I have to, it hurts.
When did you get it, darling?
I don't know, it just happened.
Darling, I'm sorry.
Did you all order drinks?
No, we didn't.
Well, somebody did, and I wondered who it was. No.
Go on, dear, I'm listening.
No.
I'm saying, I feel so young,
No.
alive. Damn it, Prunella, this canker sore is hurting. It's just sitting in my mouth and it's hurting me.
Maybe there's something you could drink. Is there any drink you recommend that makes a canker sore feel better?
Grapefruit juice?
Better, not worse.
Well, I'm not sure if we have grapefruit juice or not. We have mimosas, but somebody said the orange juice tastes like grapefruit juice. I'll go check.
Don't forget your plan.
I don't want grapefruit juice, Mitch.
I'll check.
very sorry we've come to this restaurant.
Now, Martin, don't let it ruin the evening for us.
Are you telling me what to do already?
It was just a suggestion. Don't be angry.
I'm not angry, I'm just coping with a canker sore.
More like Canker sore.
What?
Canker and cranky sounded like. I was just noticing.
Canker, cranky. They don't sound particularly alike.
Anchor, Anky. Well, they're more alike than, say, canker and geranium.
This is becoming a stupid conversation.
Well, I'm sorry I brought it up.
This really hurts.
Don't keep feeling it then.
It's hard not to.
Well, suit yourself. So you think we should get married again?
What? Oh, yes, I do.
Did I leave my pad here? I don't know how you people expect me to remember things if I lose my pad.
We don't expect anything from you except service.
That's expecting something.
Yeah.
Now, Martin, we're getting distracted and letting petty things interrupt our wonderful reconciliation. Let's not do that. Oh.
What is it?
Something in my eye. Oh dear. Oh my, it stings trebly. Oh my. Ow.
I don't understand. Something just flew into your eye?
Well, I'm not making it up. Ow.
Must you say ow? It sounds peculiar.
Well, it hurts. Ow.
I believe it hurts.
Ow.
It just seems peculiar. You have to be
Ow,
vocal
ow.
about it. It seems unnecessary.
Don't try to control my pain. It's my pain.
Here's your grapefruit juice.
Ow.
For grapefruit juice.
Ow.
I wrote it down. See?
I don't care what you wrote down. I don't want it.
Do you want a mimosa?
Do you have an eye cup
What?
to rinse my eye?
I can get a shot glass.
Yes, please. Ow.
Well, my canker sore hurts too.
Ow.
Especially when I put my tongue on it. Ow!
Ow.
Ow! Ow!
It's not a contest, Martin.
You always get this way when there are difficulties.
It's called appropriate response, Martin. My eye hurts.
I don't want to get married again. This was a stupid idea. Life is nothing but pain and misery. It's stupid to have even thought about trying to look for something to work out.
Martin, you're overreacting. Eventually, I'll get the thing into my eye, and eventually your canker sore will leave.
It doesn't matter. Something else awful will happen.
Well, fine. I'm remembering what being married to you was like.
Oh no, he's right. You get your hopes up and something awful happens. Last week I got a call from representatives from Ed McMahon, and it said I won $1 million. And I thought I'm going to quit my job as being a waiter. But I misheard them. And it said I might win $1 million if I subscribed to some magazine, so I ordered a TV guide for 36 weeks. And last night my apartment got robbed, and I don't have a TV anymore. But I'm going to get a TV guide for 36 weeks.
Well, that's too bad. I wonder if you could not talk to us so much this evening.
What? Martin!
Well, I didn't realize it when we came in here that this was one of those talky, chatty restaurants.
What?
I would like to have a conversation with my ex-wife, but with you, I would like to say hello and goodbye, and here's my order, please.
Oh, now you would like to order? He's difficult to understand.
I am not difficult to understand. I would like some politeness and decorum from the people whose work it is to serve me.
Just the check, please.
What?
Martin, I remembered why I divorced you. You're really horrible. You should be in therapy.
I would love to be in therapy, but I can't afford it.
Where is the manager? I want this man fired.
Just bring in the check. I'm going to a fast food restaurant.
Where's the manager, please?
I don't know if you have a manager. Would you like to see the cook?
Oh, forget it, forget it. Life is hopeless. You've ruined my remarriage.
Yeah, big deal.
Susan, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you for coming.
Susan, I'm so sorry. My deepest condolences.
Yes, thank you.
Marcus.
Yes, Marcus, thank you for coming.
We'll all miss him terribly.
Yes, it was a great loss.
We'll all miss him.
Yes.
You must feel terrible.
Well, I don't feel good. It was a terrible shock.
Death is always a shock. You're sitting at home, doing nothing, then then suddenly, boom! Someone just falls down dead.
Yes.
Were they boo?
What? Boo? No, he didn't have any last words.
Did he make any last noises?
Noises? What?
Guttural sorts of noises, or high-pitched shrieking like, eek, eek, or auga, auga.
I don't know. They were just noises. They were quieter than that. Don't do that anymore.
Oh, Susan, you poor, poor thing. I wouldn't wait if I were you. I'm going to be a while. All alone in the house now. All alone in the kitchen. All alone in the dining room. All alone in the living room. Living room. That's a mocking phrase now, isn't it? Alone, alone, alone. All alone, alone.
Please don't go on.
Yes, but you have to mourn. To mourn, Susan. I always thought that I was right doing all that keening. Would you like to keen, Susan?
Not really. Thank you anyway.
How about singing and you go spiritual?
I don't think so.
Swing low, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low.
Thank you so much for coming.
Don't you want to sing?
No, I don't want to keen or sing. I'm an Episcopalian. I'll cry quietly in my room later this evening. For now, I must attend to the other mourners.
Susan, you're avoiding the sadness. I can't let you do that.
Please, please let me do that. It's been a terrible day. I have to bury my husband.
But is he in a casket? It's a closed casket. He's not actually in some other room propped up in some stuffed chair waiting to startle someone, is he?
Certainly not. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, that would give someone quite a fright, wouldn't it? They'll be standing by his chair making conversation, but then realize it's him, only he's stark stone dead. Oh, that would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yes, very good. Oh, David!
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him too, you know.
How nice, or rather, how sad. Well, time heals everything.
You're not the only one with saw right on your forehead.
What?
Well, I should say not. Magic marker. We're gonna miss him on the commuter train. We will always exchange morning pleasantries like, nice morning, cold enough for you, or a train seems to be on time for a change.
Yes, I see. Excuse me, I think the mortician is signaling me.
You know your husband was the only person on the whole damn train who would be even willing to speak to me?
How interesting.
Yeah, all the other people would get panic in their eyes even if I walked in their direction. They would move away and pretend to be asleep. They didn't fool me. I'm no dope. You can't sleep standing up.
Well, maybe if you're tired enough, you can.
Your husband, though, he was always very friendly to me. Unlike my father. Nowadays, he won't even return my calls. I went to a seance and everything.
What?
Well, he's dead. And I have this... Oh, seems I forgot it, but... he had this special 800 number that lets you talk to the dead. Maybe I could try to lend you a way to reach your husband on the other side.
I don't think so. Well, que sera, sera. Ami la di da. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. For I love to see you and all that sort of stuff, but I just feel so terribly about your husband being gone. I don't know what to do on the train in the morning.
Yes, well, maybe you could read a book.
That's an idea. Any suggestions?
Oh, I don't know. The Thornbirds, Great Expectations, any book, I don't care.
My favorite one is Babar the Elephant.
Yes.
Have you read it?
No, but I hear wonderful things. Honey, my, thank you for coming. Goodbye.
Are you leaving?
No, I'm not leaving. I want you to leave. You're making me hysterical. Can't you take a hint? When I say thank you for coming, that's code for go away now. Don't you understand that?
No. I'm sorry. I thought you meant thank you for coming, and I'm sorry. Was there anything else in code that I didn't understand?
No, nothing. I don't think so.
Oh, good.
It's just, well, oh dear. Now I feel terribly guilty about having expressed my emotions.
Don't feel guilty about expressing your emotions. That's a good thing. You had a terrible loss.
Yes, I have.
Are you sure you don't want to keen? I'm not Irish, but I think it's a very appropriate thing to do at a wake.
I don't know. What does keening sound like exactly?
Oh, it's rather interesting. It's sort of like...
Please stop staring. Everyone, go back to your conversational buzz.
Did I do something wrong again?
It was just a very startling sound.
It's like crying, but more dramatic. I love to cry. You loved your husband, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, don't you want to keen just a little?
Well, his ear quite a little, but I'm not sure I really could.
You can do it softer than I did it.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on, it will help.
Would it? Oh. This is difficult to do in public. Couldn't I call you later this evening and do it over the phone?
It's more healing than can at funerals. You really shouldn't do it over the phone.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on, it will help.
Oh.
That's good.
Oh.
That's good.
Oh.
That's good.
Sirens. Sounds like they're sirens.
There. That's better.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. Oh, no, not code. Thank you, really. I feel much better.
Oh, well, you're welcome.